Okay, Adriana, thank you for coming in today. So today is kind of a follow-up from our last session where we took some measurements. And now I want to go over your results and kind of establish your starting point, okay? So your weight is 82 kilograms and your height is 170. Obviously your height doesn't change. It may change a little bit as you get older, but 170. And your BMI is 28.4. So as you can see from the chart here, for BMI and WC is waist circumference, scoring for adults between 20 and 65. We look here, a BMI of 28.4 actually puts you here in a BMI category of overweight. So what this really means is that you have a higher risk of developing health conditions based on your current health status, okay? And even going even further, your waist circumference is 101 centimeters. So you can see here that this gives you a rating of very high, anything over 90 centimeters, okay? So as I said, this is saying that you are at an increased risk for developing health conditions, and usually people are, they kind of understand where their health and physique and fitness level is at, and that's usually why they consult a trainer. They want to get healthier, and that's what I want you to focus on. You're here, you're making the most important first step. Why we're going over this data and these results is because it's really important to use to develop baseline information for calculations and for establishing a point A, because when we set your goals, your point B, then we have that point A to point B to track your progress, and it gives us an idea of what
starting point.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives us an idea of what we need to do to get to that point B, right? And we can't determine any of that if we don't know where you're starting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And so that's what I want you to focus on. I know it can be a little surprising to some people, it can be a little upsetting, but what's really important is that we're focusing on where you're going to get to and changing it, implementing the right strategies, okay? And that brings me into the next sheet here. Goal setting is one of the most important things that we can do for obviously reaching those goals. We need to say it out loud, put it on paper, put it into a plan, and that's going to help us be a lot more consistent and hold ourselves a lot more accountable and then track that progress.
Not just thinking about change, really.
Exactly. Yeah, because when we did your stage of change questionnaire on the last session, it showed that you were in a preparation stage. So that means that you're here, you're willing to take these next steps to become physically active.
These are the next steps.
And these are the next steps that before we get into the actual program design, or physical assessments, and then your program design. So I really just want to go over these worksheets quick. So the first one here is really just stating what your long-term physical goal is. So usually many people come up with like some shorter goals along the way, but think about the big picture, your ultimate end goal that you want to reach.
The ultimate.
So this can do with your health, your weight, your work performance, things like that.
Well, definitely trimming my weight.
Weight loss will definitely be a main goal to improve your health, improve your performance.
And I feel I get tired from walking. I'm a brisk walker, so walking kind of tires me out.
Okay.
Stairs are my worst nightmare. I definitely want to climb some stairs without feeling like I'm gonna pass out. So.
Absolutely. So definitely improving your health to improve your performance at work and your daily activities, making things feel less taxing on your body, give you a little bit more energy throughout the day.
Yeah.
Less soreness, maybe any soreness or on your joints or maybe things like that.
A little bit. Yeah.
Especially as we get older, our body starts to, deteriorate a little bit, and we want to
keep it strong.
Yeah, exactly. We want to improve it as much as we can, or at least maintain it as we get older. So the next point here, now that we've written that down, to achieve this, I need to focus on what? So together we're going to be going over a lot of strategies and things that we can implement in your schedule and your day-to-day activities. But what do you think that you need to do to focus on these things or to achieve these things?
Probably to do them more often. Like if I want to work on walking, maybe more cardio-focused exercises.
Yep.
I think you mentioned nutrition's important, so probably changing my diet.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll go over that a little bit later on.
Water is important. I know I don't drink enough of that.
Yeah, so usually people have a general idea of, you know, maybe I could be doing a little bit better here, a little bit
Yeah.
better there, allocating a little bit more time for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely those are some things to think about. We'll write those down. So yeah, really, and we'll get into this in the next worksheet actually. This is why I chose both of these because they kind of go hand in hand really well. You know, not only thinking about this, but we're actually going to write it down into your daily schedule, and that'll help you, you know, see it, try it, do your best to actually be consistent with it. Yeah. So we'll just do this last one here. I'm willing to do the following to make it happen. So this kind of gets into, you know, am I allocating enough time in my day to this?
Staying consistent.
Yeah. So.
Probably set a schedule and stick to it.
Yep.
Probably changing some things in my diet, giving up some unhealthy things here and there to make my diet a little healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Just mostly
Do you
time.
feel there's any kind of sacrifices in your barriers in your day-to-day activity that you'll have to work around or give up?
Well, maybe just lack of time, I guess.
Okay. So making that time.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So that's. Okay, so for this next one, like I said, this next one is really going to be going into, you know, not only are we thinking about it and talking about it, we're actually going to write it down. We'll just use Monday as the first day. So what I want you to do is really think about how your day unfolds. So a lot of us have a schedule, you know, we get up in the morning, we have a certain amount of time to get ready for work.
And I catch the bus, so I really gotta stay to my morning schedule for sure.
Okay.
Well, I guess I just wake up.
So let's do it in time. So you wake up around what time?
6:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Wake up, I spend
Yep. So now how much time are you allocating towards getting ready?
maybe about 30 minutes getting ready. And then I'll spend the next 30 minutes preparing and eating breakfast.
Okay.
For breakfast I have eggs and a cup of tea. And then I walk for about 5 minutes to my bus stop. I stand and wait for my bus for maybe 3 minutes. The bus takes me. I usually sit down for about a 5-minute ride, and then I walk to the train, sit down on the train, and then the train is about 15 minutes. And then from the train I walk to work.
Transit's about 30 minutes.
About 30, and I maybe walk or stand for 10 minutes of that.
Okay, and the rest you're
sitting down most likely.
Alright. Then you're getting to work, and we're kind of transitioning now into the afternoon, that first block of work.
Yeah, so
So
in the morning,
taking stairs or elevator, how you?
I usually use the escalator if the elevator's unavailable, but yeah, I would like to use the stairs eventually, but for now escalators is my way to go. And then once I'm at work, I'm mostly sitting, and I have a reminder on my phone that reminds me to drink water, but I don't always.
That's very good.
I don't always stick to it though. That's my problem. So probably better to every 30 minutes it reminds me to take a sip. So I try and do my best, but sometimes I just don't have the time. And then afternoons, I spend an hour for lunch. So I will walk usually to the food court and grab something, which could probably switch that into a homemade meal or something more healthier. But I usually spend about.
So you're already thinking about the right things. Using apps to give you reminders, prepping meals, a very, very good start.
Yeah. So
okay. Now, are you getting any other breaks for, or just the 1 hour break?
Just the 1 hour for work. But I mean, in between, if work is slow, then
now
I have.
And then you get some time to maybe stand
maybe
up,
5 minutes or so.
do some stretching, drink some water, walk around a little bit.
But I mean, like,
okay.
I
Well,
can implement it.
yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we're writing in 5 minutes here and there, intermittent breaks.
You need to get up and stretch.
Okay, good. So now we're transitioning into the evening. So we're finishing up work.
So another 30,
transit
30
again. So
transit.
that transit's repeating.
And about 10 minutes of that is walking or standing.
Okay, so that's kind of the same as there.
I get home around 5.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was gonna ask. All right, and now, so you're at home, you're kind of relaxing a little bit. Now this is the time that you could be using for eating another meal, right?
Probably another 30-40 minutes for
Okay.
that.
And now we're around 6 p.m. Now this is the time. Do you do anything here, or is this a
Probably
time?
just relax for the rest of the
Okay,
evening. at
so this is a
point.
time that you could allocate towards physical activity, going to the gym.
Something I could sacrifice, definitely.
All right. So we'll put in an hour, 1.5
Let's do
hours
an
in
hour
that
and a
time.
half to be safe.
Okay. So now you're getting home around 8 o'clock. You have time for another meal.
Snack, perhaps.
Yeah, and then you can kind of just unwind for the rest of the night.
Yes.
Okay. And this is also, like you said, prepping meals. This could be another time, around 8 or 9, 9 to 10. You could be using that time to prep meals quickly. Okay. All right, good. So now we kind of have some, generic routine of your schedule throughout the day with some side notes of what you could be doing in those times.
Inserting or changing.
Yeah, so now what I want you to do is take this first Monday here and use it as like a trial day. And what I want you to do is really just use a check mark or an X to indicate whether you were successful in completing that, or an X if you weren't, and why, and what you could do to turn that around
And then try
fix
and do
it.
it the next day.
Yep, absolutely, and then we'll repeat that for the next day, because usually the schedules are about the same. And then you want to be, doing your best to take small steps towards those smaller goals that we talked
Slow
about.
changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Slow changes, but in the right direction. Okay, so now we're getting into this last part here. So I really just want to go through some basic nutrition, some tips and strategies that you can implement into your habits to really make some, like we said, small steps in the right direction, because weight loss is going to be one of the main goals to improve your health, lower your risk for health conditions, improve your work performance and your performance in the gym as well. The healthier we feel, the better we're going to sleep. All these things are going to tie in together, and they're kind of just going to stack on top of each other.
Domino effect.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great way of putting it. So this is the Canada's Food Guide. 2 different versions that we're going to look at quickly. I really like the 2018 version because it really breaks it down into food groups a little bit easier. It's nice. It's kind of nicer to look at. The new one, the 2019 version, is a little more general. But we'll look at both, and whatever works for you. Different things work for different people. So I like to just use both of them. So in the first part here, looking at your age, 55, so we're looking at the 51 plus column here, females. So this column here is going to show you the kind of the goal amount of servings for each category that you should be trying to meet each day. So we're looking at 7 servings of vegetables and fruit, 6 servings of grain products, 3 servings of milk and alternatives, and 2 servings of meat and alternatives. So like I said, these are generally, when you're planning out your meals in the day, you want to kind of try and, maybe put in 2 servings of vegetables and fruit, or 1 serving here, maybe 3 servings there.
Enough vegetables or fruit.
Yeah, okay. It's good to see. It's good to see, give you an idea of where you should be at, generally. And
way below the average.
yeah, so it gives you an idea of where you're at and what the Canada's Food Guides recommend you get to. So no matter how you plan out your meals per day, because sometimes you can have bigger meals and smaller meals, right? But what really matters at the end of the day is trying to meet these serving amounts. Now for the second one here, it gives you an even better idea of what does a serving look like, and give you some suggestions on I could use this as 1 serving, or this as 1 serving, or hey, I'm already eating that, and that's already adding up to a certain amount of servings, right?
Yeah.
So these are some servings here, or
This
some
is a
suggestions
serving?
here. Yeah, so if you look here, this gives you just an example, fresh or frozen or canned vegetables, and this is the amount, the 125 milliliters, that would be 1 serving. Okay, so then the same thing here, 1 bread slice, so 35 grams, or 1 bagel slice, half a bagel. These are the types of things that are equally 1 serving.
Mm-hmm.
And many of these things, like I said, you might already be eating, but it just gives you that idea of how many servings you're already consuming and
What you can
what you can add in to get
or
to the
take
next.
away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some people might be eating too much. And they might need to take away certain columns. And one of the suggestions here is oils and fats. Just really want to make sure that we're limiting the amount of saturated fats that we're getting in our diet. You know, this could be anything from margarine, cooking oils, you know, things like that, dressings.
I usually only use butter.
Okay.
So, which I guess.
Yeah, so bad butter as well has quite a bit of
Some.
saturated fat in it. But yeah, there's just doing our best. And one of the things we talked about earlier was using an app. So you're using an app to give you water reminders. Another app that I like to suggest my clients use is called Food Diary. It's a great way of just putting in what you're eating, and it gives you the breakdown of the macronutrients that you're getting, and you know how much sugar, how much fats you're getting. These are things that we want to reduce: the sugar, the fats, alcohol, because they're empty calories. You know, things like that.
But what if you enjoy wine once in a while?
Absolutely, things in moderation are good, but we want to make sure that we're controlling it. And we never really want to just completely take out something. We just want to make sure that
then
we're.
you're gonna want it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably.
So we just want to make sure that we're reducing a good amount. You know, keeping things under control, making sure that they're kind of still fitting into our diet, planned diet.
Okay.
Alright. And yeah, so these are just some other some servings as well.
So it just kind of specifies.
Yeah, it's kind of what we just talked about, kind of just, you know, picking things that are lower in fat, sugar, or salt. We want to reduce those. Trying to have fresh or frozen vegetables and fruit more often than juice, because juice sometimes has added sugar as well. Yeah, so these are just some of the suggestions that you can read over, and they give you some more information on. Is the Canada's Food Guide for 2019. So this one is, as you can see, it's a lot less specific in the servings. What they're trying to do here is make it a little bit more general, and really saying whenever you're going to eat a meal, you want to plate it and split your plate into one half will be fruits and vegetables, and then the other half will be split into a quarter would be your grain products, whole grain foods, and then your other one's going to be your protein foods. So that's like the meat alternatives. So yeah, so it's, you know, for some people this works out really well.
Yeah,
Other
like
people,
a visual thing, I guess.
yeah, other people, you know, they want to break it down a little bit more and track it and, you know, see what everything's adding up to. So whatever one works best for you, I like to give people the option. And then this second page here again is giving some more suggestions, being mindful of your eating habits, cooking and prepping foods more often, and just enjoying your food, not really taking anything out right away, you know, quitting cold turkey or whatever it is that people say. Eating meals with others, just enjoying it, but still being mindful of what you're eating and what you're buying, and using the food labels, being mindful of all the things that you're putting in your body, making sure that they're fitting your planned diet. And the other point that I want to make is weight loss isn't something that you should be rushing to do, right? We want to establish, like I said, that point A, point B, and make it a slow and steady, you know, steps in the right direction, not cutting out things too fast, making sure that it's still an enjoyable, sustainable lifestyle rather than a diet or, you know, people get on those fad diets where they want to just lose a lot of weight fast. Well, the faster we lose it, the higher the chances of rebound weight. So, you know, regaining that weight later on, the harder it is to sustain, the more sacrifices you have to make.
It's better to just take it slow,
slow and steady.
If you're not seeing changes immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. Really what we want to focus on is a healthy decrease of about 0.5 to 1 kilograms. And we'll plan the exact amount of weight that we want to see you lose and how much you feel you should lose. But yeah, so the 0.5 to 1 kilogram per week is the amount we want to see.
Which is still pretty good, I think.
Yeah, but really the ultimate point is that it's your training and your physical activity and your nutrition to have a lifestyle that you're going to enjoy, that you're going to be able to implement into your current lifestyle.
And like keep long term.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
It's going to be enjoyable and keep it long term. Absolutely. Something that you can be consistent with. Yeah. So those are the main points with weight loss, and really making sure that when we develop a nutrition plan, whether it's me or a nutritionist, if you see a dietitian or whatever it may be, when your plan is developed, really focusing on getting enough of those macronutrients, your micronutrients, to fuel your body's rest, and for your day-to-day activities and work activities, all those things that you're going to be doing all the time, and then adding in your activity, but still making sure you're going to be in a caloric deficit to lose that weight, because we want to
eat enough to sustain, but not.
Yeah, because weight loss is all about calories in versus calories out. So how much we're putting into our body, we want to make sure that we're expending more. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's something we can get into a little bit later, a little bit more in depth. But those are, the Cannabis Food Guide is a very good resource that I would like you to look at.
Yeah.
A little bit more on your own time, and you can see all these different strategies, and we can talk about it more if you have any questions. But yeah, from here, again, these are the starting strategies. We'll start with that. Implement your plan that we made tomorrow, and use those check marks and X's and take it from there. Absolutely. And then we'll see how you did, and we'll reschedule another session and go from there. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.